Okay, welcome back to the shop. We are working today on a couple of things. Actually, I've been wanting to upgrade my lighting system on the crawler for a while, and I've been having, a couple of ideas here and there about what kind of lights I want to go with. This is Caleb's Off-Road and Fabrication. If you guys are into building cool rigs, having a good time and wheeling, stick around. So, as you guys know, going on UA this past year, it was an awesome experience. I got hooked up with some good people and got to know some people. And you know how it is. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So basically what I did was got in touch with Tim from Rally Innovations through Corey Holmes. And Tim was able to help me. He's a Baja Designs dealer. Help me pick out the right lights. And you guys kind of have seen, if you follow my Instagram, what I got going on. So this is actually one of the S8 20-inch light bars with the backlight. So it actually is blue to match my truck. Comes with the wiring harness that's heavy duty. This is 14 gauge wire. All the connectors, really good directions for putting this thing together. I'm pretty excited about it. There's the wiring harness for the front, so show you guys what the front lights look like. I'm pretty stoked. I think they look really, really good on the front of this thing. And I can already tell just by the way that those LEDs are in there, they are going to be super bright. So excited about that. And actually, this week, they sent me the amber lenses. Show you guys those for the same lights. So let's get that open. So these are the amber lights that go on the front. I'm a huge fan. I think that's going to be awesome on the front of the truck. I think it's going to look good. Guys, I'm stoked because I know Baja Designs is like one of the ones that's at the top, if not the top. They make great LEDs. They're heavy duty. You can tell just by picking one up, they're awesome. So today I'm working on mounting this rear light bar. And so it comes with stainless steel hardware, which I like. It comes with these heavy duty brackets. And I'm going to actually put this on the back of the Squarebody between the down bars on the headache rack right there in the middle on the bottom side. And what that's going to do is light it up back here where I actually see what's going on. And also having the backlight option, I think it'll put still quite a bit of light down on the back of the truck, even if I'm not needing to completely light it up. So I'm going to do that. And then also, one thing I've been working on, it's been kind of slow going, but I've been working on moving some of my relays from right here on the firewall. I'll show you guys. This is kind of where I have had all my relays, and I actually went through here and marked them all. I got my fuel pump, my power steering cooler, trans cooler, and then I also have the Holley set up over here. So I want to move all that because right now this is an actual kind of a cool thing. This is a fuse block that's off a military truck, a 6.2 diesel. You guys have probably heard about it. It's an M108 military pickup. And what this fuse block does, it distributes the power and grounds for that system because it's a 12, 24 volt hybrid system. So I kind of, cut up a parts truck that I had and thought, man, this fuse block would be great. So it has these little connectors and insulators. You take this off and you can actually get to all of the connections. So I like the way this is set up because you can hook in as many powers or grounds as you want to. So this right here is my main power, and then this bottom one is keyed on power. And so naturally, when I built this truck initially, I needed a key on power source to go to all my relays over here. So what I did was just made them where the relays were close. The drawback on that is in this corner of, where all this is, it looks like, a wiring nightmare, even though it is labeled and everything works. And it gets really hot. So on my first trip to Moab, I remember we burned down a fan relay. And then also when we were in Colorado, after a full week of wheeling, I burned up a relay in the truck. And it actually blew the back seal of my water pump out because it got so hot. No thanks to the Holley Pro Dash that didn't read. It quit halfway through the trip. So anyways, we've got that remedied. Now we went back to all analog style gauges. Very happy I did that. Simplified things. And now I'm thinking about, whenever I do this, putting my S-Pod, which is actually the controller for all these lights. And it actually is pretty cool because it has a little bit of everything. You can control up to 8 circuits off of it, and it's really nice because it has a really awesome breaker already on it, the power wire and the ground, and you can remote it, or excuse me, you can mount it remotely wherever you want to. So this will control both lights. So I'll only be using 3 circuits off this S-Pod. I'll only be using 3 of them, so I'll have 3 left. So I really already have 3 circuits left inside of the truck, which would be my transmission cooler fans. I have 2 of those on my truck, and then I also, that's the fans, and then I also have a power steering cooler. So I really could use all of those by putting that setup inside the middle of the truck, and that would easily power that. So obviously I got to test it and make sure, but the S-Pod is the way to go. I'm super stoked about it. I think it works really good. I've seen people have good luck with it, and Louis Vuitton already has the S-Pod that has 8 circuits instead of 6. This is a 6 circuit. So anyways, I need to get to work on that. First, I'm going to get this light bar mounted. I'm not going to get the cart in front of the horse here. Get this light bar mounted, work on the wiring, and then start figuring out where I'm going to mount the S-Pod, hopefully inside the cab, and simplify this down. So let's get to work. All right, if you guys know anything about putting on fasteners, you guys have probably seen these riv nuts. They work really good. This particular one is a 3/8 16, and this is the tool. It's actually from Amazon. It works really good. You tighten this down, you drill a hole out to the approximate size. This riv nut, it calls for a 9/16 hole. And so I'm gonna go ahead and drill it up here. I really like the way this is. It's super clean. It sucks this down. It just, once the hole gets drilled and then you push that in there, it actually rivets it to inside of the tube, which is gonna work great for me because then I won't have to worry about having to drill all the way through the tube. It's just way cleaner, guys, and I really like the way that looks. So I got my really nice Temu drill bit here. It works great. These little bits are awesome. They, believe it or not, they're good quality. I can't believe how well they cut holes into, especially this super thin wall tubing. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these holes drilled. Let's get it going. Show you what we got going on. So I got this hole punch. This thing's really nice. Got this off the Matco truck. You just spring forwards, man, it just bam, makes a nice little indention. Perfectly gets it where you need to go for your drill bit, and drills it right in. So my goal is, I could put it underneath. I guess I could do that. If I put it underneath, it kind of takes some of my visibility away. I kind of like the way that looks. I think it's really clean if I do it that way. If I do it up here, I think it's going to be a little taller, and I can angle it down a little bit and leave me some room. But if I look across here, it's actually not any higher. I don't like it on top. I think that's not good, but I think I might go underneath. So let me check that real quick. That might be the ticket underneath. I think underneath's the way to go. So that's how everything works. You think, oh, that's gonna be perfect. Then you put it up there and you look at it like, oh man, that's definitely the way to go. All right, I like that. So that looks pretty good right there. Yeah. And kind of want to split the difference with it and get the same amount between the two. That way it looks like it's supposed to. Get it marked. Looks like we're about the same there. Now, look underneath here and see what our holes look like. See if they're about the same. Drilling underneath ain't as bad, but there we go. Okay, so now, what's nice about the drill bit action here is that little indention. It really helps keep your drill bit in the right spot. another thing I do on this, like if I know there's a certain hole that I want to get to, see where I take my permanent marker and I wrap around all the way around where the 9/16 is. That's so I know how far to get this thing to go. Because once these things start eating, woo, they start eating, if you know what I mean. There it is. All right. See how that fits in there. Hopefully it'll, looks like we might have went a little bit too much, but hopefully it'll fit. Ooh, might have to. Boy, those metal pieces are hot. I don't know if my drill's liking that. Oh, it's because it was stuck on a different speed. Let's try that. That's not the speed we want. Woo! Man, those metal shavings are hot. That one's definitely going to be tight. Let's see what happens here. So we might have to switch it over. I didn't think about that. Oh, let's see what happens. It's starting to go. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. See how that looks. Oh yeah. Yeah, that spread out good. Cool. So there's one down. Okay, so one part about this is probably it should go in there, which I might have to go a little bit more than I want to. Little at a time, right? It's kind of in the way of my need to go just a little more. All right, gotta go now. Oh yeah, she's in there now. Not in the easiest spot to get to, for sure. But sometimes the easiest stuff ain't the best looking either. Okay, all right, let's see how our test fit's going here. Oh, I love these Baja design lights though. These are sweet. So cool. A couple of those threaded in. Let's see where we're at here. Oh yeah, good. Not bad. So what we're going to do, just to help our case out here, I'm going to loosen this bracket up just a little bit, because I was going to have to adjust it anyways. Let's just loosen her up. Give us some slack to work with here. Then we'll tighten it all down and we'll be good to go. Oh yeah, there we go. See how easy that went in? Heck yeah. Okay. It's nice having the top of the pickup to be able to work on stuff, because you got your own little toolbox and tool holder up there. It's awesome. Alright, got me a lock nut on there, so I don't have to worry about that coming out. Man, these lights look awesome. Oh, those lights look good. Okay, so I can get my other socket here and adjust this thing down just a hair. Let's go. Oh man, that looks bomb. Look at that, guys. Man, that looks good. I like it. It's not actually below my window, so I'm not going to lose anything there, but that's going to add so much light to the back of this thing, which, you know, me carrying all the stuff that I do on here, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I think I'll be able to kind of hide the wires too. Bring them down and around right here, go down, hook them up. So I like that. Can't complain about that. That's awesome. Looks really good. Okay, back at it. A little update. You guys ever heard the term escalated quickly? Well, here we are. So in the joint effort to get this thing cleaned up, I went ahead and pulled the dash pad out, and it's actually not bad. I'm trying to kind of get my mind wrapped around getting ready to switch from this Holley system to the factory setup with the Howl harness. And, you know, I'm going to be going back to the original ECM for this truck, and I'm freshening the motor up. I'm doing some things. But in the meantime, you know, I'm opening up a box of worms. I've been wanting to paint this. This has been raw steel since I've had it, and I just never got around to painting it. So I've always wanted to paint it. So I got my radio out. I actually had to swap out my rugged radio, the M1, so it would have some of the channels on it that I needed for full size and Easter Jeep. So this one has BFG relay. It also has some of the UA channels on it. I actually stole it out of Louis Vuitton because I need it right now and I don't have time to ship this one off to get some of those things programmed into it. So anyways, perfect time to pull this out, get it out of the way because I had to unhook it anyways, and then take the cup holder out, clean all this up, and I'm going to shoot some black paint on it. So I think it'll look nice. I also ended up, it's kind of hard to see, but I rerouted some of the lines for the vintage air. That way it give me some more room. And I think I got it narrowed down. So what I'm going to do, my goal here in tearing this all apart, you're probably asking yourself why I end up tearing all this apart, and it's perfectly working fine. Well, yes and no. So one of the issues that I had is the fan relay, like I said before, has had issues with overheating because it's in that spot that's right up there on the front of the firewall at the very top, and it gets pretty hot there. Even with the louvers in there, it still gets hot. So I actually am going to remove where they're at, and I'm going to run it right in here to the firewall on the inside of the truck, probably up in this corner right here. This is the right behind the cage, and then if you look up, there's quite a bit of void right there. So cool thing is I actually found a really nice 6-way or 6 relay with 6 fuses that can go up to 50 amps each relay, and then 30 amp fuse. It's a whole block, kind of like an automotive style one that you see like in a factory car. I found that through Summit, so I got it ordered. It should be here tomorrow. And so that's going to get rid of what I got going on up here, which is all of these relays right here. So I got, you know, the fan relay, which is right there. The first one, you can see where it's been hot. And then I got my fuel pump, which is the second one there. And then on down the line, I got, you know, 2 transmission coolers. And then I also have a power steering fluid cooler, which I actually have never heard fire up on this truck because I don't think I've ever had it that hot. So I got everything written down. I went old school, just wrote it down with a permanent marker. But that's so this relay over here and this fuse is for the Holley system. So for this trip to Moab for Easter Jeep Safari and full-size Invasion, I'm going to be leaving that in there, obviously, because I don't have the Howl harness yet. But I'm preparing my mind to do some wiring, and I'm simplifying all this, mainly because I want less things to break and less things to go wrong whenever I'm out on the trail. Not that I've had a ton of issues, but I just don't want to be the one that's having issues. So I am slowly working out small bugs like any project. I ended up putting this style overflow from the Jungle website. It works pretty good. It's a TIGGed aluminum one that has the overflow that goes to the radiator. It's working pretty good. It actually freed up a ton of space where I can decide to put some type of air box in here. I'm going to put an air box that's sealed up and hopefully run into the fender somehow just to kind of keep the hot air temps down on the new engine. I'm slowly working into it, guys. It's getting there. You know, with any project, you're going to get to the times where you're like, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have known this. And I feel like I've done that on this truck a couple of times already, and I'm just making it better. You know, some people will complain about having to redo things over and over and over, but man, I'm learning. I've never made it to the pinnacle. I learn something every day. It's even with stuff in the shop, guys, working on all these trucks, you know, around here. You just end up working and learning something every single time you're in the shop. And, you know, I'm proud to say that I'm getting better. I'm a student of the game. So same thing on this truck. Really excited. I got an S-Pod set up, you know, I'm working on for this truck. And I'm actually going to get the controller because I really want the controller no matter what. But I got this handy dandy little Brady, got this off Amazon. This is a label maker that actually has shrink wrap that goes onto the wires. So pretty stoked about that because when I do start tearing this thing apart wire-wise, I want to be able to label everything with this little label maker, and it's shrink wrap, so just boom, shrink it down and you got it. So it looks like a mess right here and there's a lot going on, but sometimes to make it better, you got to make it messy. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Hey, if you haven't, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. If you like what I'm doing, there's going to be quite a bit more. I mean, this isn't my only project, so you guys will see other things on the channel, but today this is what we're doing. All right, I got my headlamp on and we are trudging forwards. All right, so every time that I do wiring, I love to go over every little detail multiple times, because wiring is one of those things that they say the devil's in the details, and I guarantee is true. So you don't want to cross something up and burn, a relay up immediately if you just get it twisted. So what I do, which, I'll show you guys here, I make notes and I go over them. So this is my relays right here that are actually on the truck right in here, and where I got them. I don't like where they're at, and I feel like that it could be way more tidy than that, and those would be gone, and we get rid of some of this wire mess. So on my current relays, the way it's set up is blue is a 12-volt battery power. That's whenever you're getting constant 12 volts. The black, that is going to be your chassis ground. White is the 12-volt switched power or ignition power. So like when you turn the key on, that energizes the relay that says, hey, the truck's on, we're ready to go. And then when you turn the truck off, it de-energizes that relay. And then yellow is the power out of the relay. So whatever you are trying to power up, like me, I'm trying to power up a coolant fan for the radiators, or the transmission cooler fan, or the power steering fan. That is going to give power from the relay to the fan on the outside that tells the fan, hey, kick in whenever you get to the temperature point that it needs to be at, and it fires the fan up. What I love about this new box that I bought is it's very easy. So you got all of your power from your 12 volts from your battery. That's where this side comes in. It's all 16 gauge. It's 12 gauge on the power, 16 gauge on these. So what's great about it is, if you can look in there, it's all tight, weatherproof stuff. I mean, it's got that good tight weatherproof, I don't know if it's a gel or what it is, but it works really good, keeps the dust and the dirt out. And then also a bonus is they actually numbered these. I mean, I know you guys saw, but I bought that labeler so I could, but I like that they're all together. So anyways, my new one, the wire colors are different, but they do the same thing. So my new relay, which is this one, if you want to look it over, is the white wire itself is the 12-volt switched ignition power, so no big deal there. On my old one, it was actually the blue, no big deal. On my new one, the blue one is the power out of the relay, so that's what actually powers the fans. And then black is the chassis ground. And then I don't have to worry about battery power, because the fuses that come across and go over to the bottom of the relay, that is your power coming from 12-volt source. So no big deal. And the yellow one's not used because that one's in the middle, and I'm not running it, the 5-wire. I'm just running the 4-wire relay, so no big deal. So the main thing is I have 3 that I need to use, and the nice thing about that sheathing that I got being 1 inch, it will definitely fit. I'm excited about tidying the engine bay up where all this stuff's going to work. And also I'm excited about putting it inside the cab so the wiring will not be getting hot, and that is great news because I don't want to have to worry about it getting overheated. So anyways, I'm going to start moving some of these wires. My goal today is to start moving the power wire into the inside. I need to make some type of chassis ground, probably to my cage, so the truck has something to ground to. And there it's close, not too far out of the way. And then I need to work on getting this thing mounted solidly. Hopefully I can make it look good and it's not too much of a pain to get to. Try to put it up against the firewall and the outside of the kick panel as far as I can up, and that way if I do get water in there at some point, it'd be super tall water. I don't have to worry about any of those circuits getting wet. So I'm trying to knock out a lot of things with one stone here, but we're just going to start eating it like an elephant, one bite at a time, guys. So here we go. So here's what I'm talking about. I have a ton of my rugged radio stuff in here, and I did this whenever I was trying to get ready for Moab the first time, and there was just a lot going on here. You can see where it's coming up through the floor. Not the best setup, right? So my goal is when I get all this, when I when I get this painted, I'm going to take all this, basically it's going to have the whole inside of this, the console and everything taken out. I'm going to paint this thing. My goal is to make this as clean as possible and get some of that wire sheathing that I bought and simplify this, because there is a ton, which that is part of it, but this is mainly extra from Rugged Radios, just so you have extra. But like this right here, this is your power wire to my switches. Then I've got, the wire that wraps around and hooks into the power of the radio itself. Like, there's a lot involved here. So I'm working on cleaning it up. It looks like I'm taking it completely apart. It's because I am. I'm trying to make it better, guys. Let's keep going. I can get the other seats out here. Let's do that. All right, I love when a plan comes together. I'm still getting dusty and dirty from being underneath this thing inside. Okay, so the cool thing is this box that I bought, it actually has a rubber grommet that has the perfect setup for building a little bracket. So my plan is, I'm going to use that to make a little steel, I guess you would call it a steel piece to go over this. And what's going to happen is I'm going to come from the bottom. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. And I understand this is kind of hard to see, but I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. And so I'm trying to mix up here. I want it to be easy to get to and not a pain, but I also want it to be up high enough that if I do go through water, it's not getting a bunch of water in it. Now, granted, this is supposed to be watertight to a certain degree, but if you submerge something, I mean, good luck. You just got to do what you got to do. So here's my plan. I'll show you if I can get you guys in there. So up here in this corner, you can kind of see that I've got a little bit of opening. Now there's my vintage air, and that's the kick panel. Cage is right there. So the nice thing about this cage is it provides a really, really good spot for me to be able to get this up in there. So my plan is, just imagine this being up in here like that. And I'm going to put that bracket right here. I'm going to weld it to the cage. And that way it'll be up out of the way. It's going to be quite a ways up there like that. And we'll be able to basically make it to where it can free stand there, and all the wires will be up out of the way from the metal. And then the other part I like about this is up here, if you guys look inside of here, I have a hole already in there. I don't know what that's for, but you can see daylight if you look through there. That's because it goes out to the engine bay, which my engine bay, the battery is on this side. So I'll be able to go through somewhere around here and make a hole. And then I'm kind of nerding out on this wiring stuff, right? So I'm doing it the right way. I got these pass-through grommets for wires that I actually can bolt to the firewall. So I am really stoked about that. I got that one, and I also got this one. So I'll be able to put a pretty good sized bundle of wires through there. And look how cool this is. Hopefully I can do it one-handed. See if I can show you guys. So this little grommet deal comes apart. It just literally is two pieces, and then you just slide it together, and then you bolt it together, and your wires are in that hole, and there's no chafing going on. I'm still going to put some of that wire bundle around this, but I really like this design. It's aluminum, it's smooth. They're not going to have any issues with the wiring. My goal here, like I was telling you guys, is to clean this up, make it more efficient if I have to work on it. And then also I'm taking all those relays that are out inside the engine bay, getting rid of them, and I'm actually putting them in here where you can actually get to everything. It's going to be so much better. I think it's going to be way better for the truck. So I'm going to start making this bracket so we can get it tacked in here, and then we can start mounting it and doing the wiring. Cool thing about that hanging upside down is I'll be able to let it drop down, and I can do all the wiring, and then I can push it back up in there and tighten it up, and it'll be done. I like that part because accessibility is very, very important on this build, and ease of getting to everything is super important to me. So I build it to work on because guess what? The way I wheel it, I'm going to work on it, and I'm going to hammer down, and we're going to find out what it's made of. So if I have to work on it, we will. So let's get going. So one thing I have learned in doing this, guys, is whenever you're going to cut all this stuff and you're working on, you know, making these brackets, which, like I said, I'm just going to use the bracket. This is just the rubber gasket that came with it, but it's a perfect template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up using this 1/8 inch piece of plate here, and it'll make it to where, you know, it's nice. It won't have to worry about it flexing. It's going to be good and tight. So I am going to get this as flat as possible, and then I will use my chalk, and I've learned this throughout the years. Get yourself a good sharp piece of chalk, because it's going to be way better than a dull one. And this will make it where when you cut it out, so much easier on you. I'm not going to do my holes yet. I'm going to wait just a minute, but obviously that looks pretty good. So won't take much to get this thing cut out. Need to preserve those ears. And what I think I'm going to do, I think I'm going to make this to where, I think that I want to make it to where okay, I can use self-tappers. So what I'm going to do is just drill a small pilot hole for this. And basically that'll make it to where when the screws go in, it'll be super easy on it. Screw will just sink down in there and we'll be good to go. So I feel like people make it more complicated than it has to be, but that's okay, because it leaves people like us to figure it out. So, one thing about a rubber gasket is we're having to kind of guesstimate here. So what I'm going to do, just because I don't exactly know if this is going to be exact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the outside of these lines for this. And that way, whenever I go to put that, you know, fuse box in there, around there, it just has enough meat for the screws to go in on the back side. And you got to think, I'm not worried about these tabs messing it up because it's coming from the top going over the wires to here. So, and I'm going to put it on the sheath, so it's going to have plenty of protection, so that'll be good. So let's go ahead and mark these before I lose these. Love this punch. Works dang good. All right. Oh yeah, my iPhone always lets me know I'm in a loud environment. Yes, I know. I live in a loud environment. Okay. Clamp this baby down, drill some holes. Love these drill bits. These are the Matco drill bits that are actually have like a step bit on the end, and then it goes to a regular drill bit. Man, you talk about good. Man, they're right. They work really good. Okay. the smaller blade of the smaller blade on the pet-off wheel works pretty good, especially in the corners. Alrighty. So that worked out pretty good. Let's see, probably need to clean her up a bit, do a test fit. Am I talking really loud? It's because I had my headphones still on. That looks decent. That's hot. Okay. All right, so far it don't look terrible, but I need to clean up the edges a little bit, help it out, keep these wires from touching, because that'd be a bad day. So we'll get a little tiger paw, do some cleanup. I think these abrasive discs and cutting wheels probably shorten my lifespan a little bit, but they're necessarily needed because you need it to be smooth. So. Well, we knocked those edges off. Looks pretty good. Let's give her another test fit. Oh yeah, we're looking way better. All right, so it doesn't have to be exact. You know, guys, I'm looking at this here. Doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be on there enough to where it ain't touching the wires and there's no reason that they would even get close. So we'll get it in there. But my goal is the roll cage is going to be coming up right here, going up through the cab, and I'll be able to tack this thing on there just to kind of give it a little offset, and hopefully I can run a piece maybe from here to here or here to there on the cab and kind of give it some help. But I think this being this good heavy duty 1/8" plate, it'll be good enough for this. So we'll see how it goes. Let's get this thing tacked in. Got to remember, it's super thin, so you can't get wild. All right, see if I can get another. All right. There. You can kind of see what we got going on there. There's where I welded the bracket to the cage, and it goes up and over. That's where it's going to live. I'm happy with it. Okay, I know what you're thinking. I got way out of hand. And you're right, it has. But it's all for good. There's a lot of things that are happening. This is a mess. We got wires, stuff done. We got a lot going on here. But I promise you that it's going to be for the good. Usually, in my experience, have to make a mess before it starts making sense and make it better. So, yeah, I did get the dash out the other day, and I got all the seats out today, and the console, and I trekked some wires down. And guys, I'm proud of myself because, you know, I'm getting to the point where I'm working and building on this stuff, especially my own, that I just want it to be right, and I don't want to have to worry about it. So I'm really not. I'm not worried about this truck now. I mean, it worked good before, but there was just a lot of wires in this corner over here that was just too close for comfort on the firewall, and you can kind of see what I mean. There's, you know, all the way across here was those relays, and I just felt like at some point it was going to have a fire, and if something happened where it was a stupid wire that got hit, or, you know, rock hit it and it shorted out, I would be sick to burn my truck up. So key to the story on this is let's just do it right and have a good time, and everything works out for the good. So I'm going to run, actually in the past hour, have just decided I'm going to run my wires that have to run from the driver's side over. I'm going to put it inside of the cowling, inside of this really good wire sheathing here. I'm going to run it into the cowling. I'm going to put a pass through right here on the firewall, and then I'm going to run it inside of here where there's a hole where you can see it, and I'm going to run it across. A couple of reasons why. One of the reasons is it's going to be hidden and out of the elements, even though that is the cowling where water can get in there. The wiring is tight, everything's sealed, so I'm not going to have any issues, but I do have it double sheathed on here. So I got some of the good wire sheathing that you can buy that's actually woven. You know, it's obviously got the wire inside of there, and then I also have a 1-inch piece over the top of all of that. So it's double protected, and that'll run all the way across the firewall, and then I'm going to have a pass through right here, and then it'll come out and hook in where it needs to hook in. So I'm really happy about that. I think it's going to clean it up. I mean, I might even go as far as to move some of this other stuff into there. Like, I know a lot of this is going to change whenever I do my engine with all the Howl harness, and I don't have the Holley in here anymore. So a lot of this can change for the better later, but just for this trip, this is what we're going to do and how it's going to be. So got that bracket done. I got a lot of progress made for what I did today. I got that bracket made. I got it looking good. You can kind of see where it's welded in up there. It's going to be nice and out of the way. It's pretty solid. I did get it painted while the welder was still hot, and so that's kind of a cheat code. You can make sure, and you won't have to worry about the paint because it actually makes it, when you give it the old Craigslist rebuild, the paint just seals it up real quick and it dries great. So, and it's under the dash. Who cares? I get it, but still, at the same time, I'm just wanting to do it right and do it right the first time and be done with it. I'll be also working on cleaning this up, taking a, bristle pad, cleaning this up, scuffing it up a little bit, and taping it off, and I'll hit that with some black paint, so that'll look good. I'm really happy with the placement of putting that fuse box in there with the relays, because I think it's going to be out of the way. It's going to be way better. It's going to be a nice setup where it's manageable. I'm not going to have to worry about fires inside of the engine compartment. So I'm happy about that, guys. All in all, making progress. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you can, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe as well. It'd help me out a bunch. And you guys don't know what it means. You watch all my ramblings here, and I hope you guys like the content I'm putting out. If you got any ideas or any suggestions, just throw it up there down below in the comments. Again, appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Okay, guys, we're back in the shop. I've been slowly and steadily working on the wiring for the Squarebody. And if you guys go back and watch where we've been, there's quite a bit of change going on up here on the firewall. So if you look up here, kind of see where those relays were all the way across here and how much holes they left in the firewall, which I do need to fill in. But the moral of the story is we are simplifying the wiring, making it way more reliable and safer, because it's going to have a dedicated fuse box, which I'm working on getting mounted. I got that mount made, so I just need to work on putting this in. So each circuit has a dedicated fuse for the power coming in, and then it has a relay with all the wires. And I got it coming up through here. Show you guys how that kind of looks. That's the Squarebody firewall, and then I got another one of those pass-throughs that goes through right there. And that's all the wires that come through there. And then for this side, I got another one of those matching pass-throughs that goes right there. I really like the way it looks. It's super clean. Got all my wires ran, shrink wrapped like that. And then as a bonus, I got another one. It's kind of hard to see, but right there, that's another pass-through for some of my powers. And I don't have any wires that are going from right here on this side that are hanging down over the motor and going to the other side of the truck. So I like that a lot, because I think it's going to clean it up. It's going to make it to where there's less fires or potential for fires, which I should know a little bit about. Luckily, truck's never had any issues with fires, but I want to keep it that way. So wiring's coming along. You can tell it's super messy in here. We've got a lot to do still yet, but it's nice whenever you have this wide open, because you can put tools and you got a workspace. But I'm going to work on getting this panel for all my relays and the fuses up inside of here on the mount that I made. So got all these wired in. Think it turned out pretty good. Oh, wrong light. I need to show you guys. So it comes through the bulkhead. It's looking good there. I really like the way that these kind of tidy up the inside of the engine bay. I think it looks like it's supposed to, and there's not a bunch of stuff hanging out where it's going to get caught up and broken. So anyways, I have plenty of room. It kind of used this cowling. Show you here. This cowling is like where there's like a little vent right here for square bodies, and the water comes down, and water actually vents down through the fender, comes out the bottom. So it's kind of a good setup to put that wiring in there, because it's protected. It's actually behind the firewall, so it's not going to be getting that direct heat from the engine like all the other stuff that's packed into here. Now, some of this stuff I had to leave and stay, like this is the Holley wiring for the Holley. This is the relay for the Holley, and this is the main power fuse for the Holley going to the Terminator computer on the inside. Now, also, I have my ARB set up here. This is for my fuses for the air compressor, the dual air compressor. And the reason that I left those kind of outside in the engine bay is that's something, if it quits, you want to be able to access it quickly, be able to get it, switched out, changed out, diagnosed is another thing, and get back on the trail wheeling, having a good time. So I've ran into that one time when I had my relay go bad on my fan for the cooling fan. And anyways, that ended up fixing it, just popped a new one in real quick and was ready to go. But the nice thing about this now is moving this all to the inside, which now it's not just a bunch of wires hanging like it was. Moving this all to the inside, and I got it tucked up here, right where all of it is. I have an extra relay left over, and I also have all those wires tucked up out of the way, and they're protected, and that mount turned out really good. It's just about, I don't know, barely underneath the HVAC box right here, the vintage air. So I think it's a good spot. And also I have a cover that is waterproof that goes and clicks onto the bottom of this. So worst case scenario, I'll be able to ford some water if I need to. You know, I know sometimes out in on the Rubicon, Fordyce, they get a ton of rain and the rivers go up and down and you got to cross in certain sections. So that's definitely a trip I'm going to be hitting probably at the end of this year. I hope. I've got an invite to go out there. Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate you guys. And I'll also be going out there for King of the Hammers next year because that's my jam. I want to go out there and experience that, enjoy, you know, what it has to offer. I want to get up on the hill they call Backdoor and drive up that hill and see how it is. Looks like it's a good time. There's a ton of people there. Looks like at nighttime it gets pretty rowdy. Never know. Have a good time. We'll see. But anyways, if we had Ford water, I'll be able to go quite a ways up without having to worry about it getting into that. And then even if it does get up to that, it's waterproof and it's all sealed up. So I got a little bit of extra excess wire that I'm going to be able to tuck up in back behind the dash. It's all protected. Really liking this new wire sheathing that I got instead of the old plastic stuff. This is a plastic type of sheathing. It's called Alex Tech. You can get this on Amazon. It's really good. I'm an avid Amazon user on especially stuff like this. Like my whole wiring box here with all my connectors. This is all Amazon stuff. This is, you know, heat shrink on it already. Got my 14 to 16 for the butt connectors, the small ones. And then also, and one thing I'm glad I did this time as well, is I went ahead and bought some of this heat shrink tubing in bulk. I think this 65 feet of heat shrink tubing on Amazon was probably, I think it was $12.99 for that, all of that. So just great deal. And I also bought some of that same brand, Alex Tech, in 1/4 inch for just doing single wires. And it just has a little jacket on it, like a little sheath, and it also adds another extra protection on top of the wire itself. And so you can see up here where I was actually shrinking it on to where the connectors, when I did the heat shrink, and then whenever I did the connector itself, I put the heat shrink over it just to add some extra protection, and it really looks nice. So I like the way it looks. I think it's going to work good. I'm not going to have any fires. So if you guys have ever done any wiring before, kind of one of those things you worry about is like that first initial startup, like what's going to happen? Will it start? Is it going to run right? And luckily, I started this last night before I got the box mounted just to test it. My cooling fans turned on, the truck started after I had initially a small issue. So if you guys remember earlier in this video, whenever I was working on this, I moved some of the wires that run across and I put them into this eyelet here and went in the cowling and went over there. Well, one of those wires happens to be the main power wire that is for key-on ignition power. So, you know, got it in the wiring, put it all the way across there. I ran it professionally. It looked really good. And for some reason, I tucked it back inside of this cowling and forgot to hook it up. So I go to turn the key on. I hear the fuel pump come on. Like, okay, well, I'm not getting any power to my gauges. What's going on here? Also, I'm not getting any power to the terminator ECM on the dash. I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm cranking, nothing's happening. Well, if the ECM doesn't get any power, it's not going to run. So checked all my fuses, good. Checked all my grounds. Went up here, made sure all my ECM connections for power and ground were hooked up. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. What was going on was the wire that is from the main Squarebody harness that goes across from the old harness for the key-on ignition power to turn this on, which is also going to the Holley to turn the ignition power on, wasn't hooked up at all. So the ignition wasn't getting turned on, which wasn't turning on the ECM or turning on my gauges. Took me about 5 minutes, but I was having a miniature freak out, like I can't believe I did all this wiring and now it won't start. Anyways, that's just how it goes. As soon as I got that wire, which is this one, hooked into the keyed on power, as soon as I did that, truck fired up like it was running yesterday, worked great. So just goes to show you guys, just go over, don't freak out, little issues like that. Retrace your steps, make sure your grounds are good, your powers are good, fuses are good. It wasn't a big deal, but in the moment, whenever I'd been working and wiring on this thing for days, it's a big deal. So I'm gonna do some more tidying up and we'll keep on going, but it's looking good, it's running good. I'm excited about it. I love how clean it is, so let's keep on going. That wiring's finished up. I got it all tucked back in there. Here soon enough, I'll be able to put this thing back together. I think really the only wiring I need to do still yet is wire up the S-Pod for my lights in the front and my light bar in the back. I haven't done that yet, so I got one more week of just prep work and a weekend that I got where I can get this thing ready. So as long as I get that done, it's gonna be good. Got all of this wiring on the ground is what I took out of the truck. All right, I guess I should fire it up and kind of give you guys a once over and at least show you that it runs, right? After all that work, right? Let's make sure it still runs. Oh yeah, running good. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. It's looking better every day. Every time I touch it, working on it, it's getting better. Just got to keep staying consistent, guys. Stay on your grind. You guys can do this. Sometimes it just seems like you can't ever get ahead, but you just got to stay consistent, show up every day and work on it. So that's what I'm doing. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time. This is Caleb's Off-Road and Fabrication. If you guys are into building cool rigs, having a good time and wheeling, stick around.